Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the 10 most underrated movies. So just so you're clear on this, I'm talking about movies that were underrated either at the box office or by word of mouth, and people who say that they didn't like the movie or that they've never heard of it. I know that that's a lot of things to cover, but that's what I'm working with, so hopefully you can deal with that.
Last run, gotta make it count.
Frozen. Now, I'm not talking about the Disney movie Frozen, I'm talking about the nail-biting movie that makes you feel like you're actually in the movie on that conveyor belt, making you feel the sheer terror, both using the cinematography and the acting and everything that surrounded that movie. The movie does a fantastic job in making you believe that the urgency is real, the characters' performances, all the acting and everything makes you believe their terror in that situation that they're in.
Batman, batarang, pipe bombs, utility belt.
Utility belt.
Green Arrow has a bow and arrow.
Okay.
Why do you need all those?
I'm making up my own superhero. He needs a weapon. That'll do.
Cool.
All it takes to be a superhero is the choice to fight evil.
Shut up, crime.
Super. Now this movie is like a B-grade version of Kick-Ass. And if you haven't seen Kick-Ass, go see Kick-Ass. The fact that this does look very unprofessional, just the way that it's been made, it works to its ultimate advantage with making it look really realistic. The character, like the main character, he's believable in the placement that he is in, you know, going out there and wanting to just go fight crime and just sort of like give the world a giant fucking middle finger and be like, I'm gonna do this, stay out of my way, I am the man.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Looks like we got you just in time.
I shouldn't even be here.
You don't have any unnatural thoughts.
I don't think it's unnatural.
Aha! When you have inappropriate fantasies about girls, you shock yourself with a shock.
That's sick.
Feel the friendship.
This is bull, Megan. It doesn't work. You are who you are. The only trick is not getting caught.
Turning the tides a bit, I'm going to be going in the comedy genre with But I'm a Cheerleader. This movie is definitely lighthearted. It's definitely a movie that touches you in the way of like making you really feel for these characters, the positions that they're in. Giving you a short breakdown of it, you know, this girl, all her friends think that she's a lesbian, you know, that she's gay or whatever. And so they're like, you know, we don't want you to grow up in that lifestyle, we want to try and fix you, and so we're going to take you to like this camp where people go to become straight. And I'm not going to try and tell you anything more than that. Just if you haven't seen the movie, I would definitely suggest you to go and see it. It's really funny as well, like just the way that they portray the characters and the storyline itself is quite funny.
It's a matter of time, I suppose.
Now don't give me hate on this one, but I'm going to say Watchman Director's Cut. Now there were 3 or 4 different versions of this movie. There's like Watchmen, the theatrical release, then there was Watchmen, the Director's Cut, then there was like the extended edition which went for like 4 hours or something. Who needs a movie that goes for like 4 hours? Personally my favorite was the Director's Cut because it gave us more of what we wanted from the original theatrical release. Like the theatrical release, you know, it's the most of what we could have expected from a movie of this caliber being presented into a movie. It's just the best that they could have done.
John thinks that there's going to be a nuclear war.
What if that's why someone wants us out of the way? So we can't do anything to stop it. An attack on one is an attack on all of us.
But in the director's cut, you know, they expand on that, and they give us the chance of being able to see those extra scenes that we probably wanted to see in the theatrical release. Mind you, that turns the movie out to be like a 3-hour movie, but if you're okay with that, then I suggest you go and check that one out as well.
Like we're past business.
I was now attending the most drugged out high school in the whole country, honest to God. These guys smoked pot, sniffed glue, snorted crystal, did ecstasy in toilets, anything to kill the boredom. But Thurston, he had reasons of his own.
Number 6 on the list is a Canadian movie called Daydream Nation. This movie is just trippy and weird, and just there's not really much I could say that would describe this movie well at all. But it's interesting, it's intriguing seeing this girl going from like this city lifestyle and going to this small town where all the kids of the town, all they do is just, you know, smoke and take drugs and anything home grade to mix into like the best concoction of hallucinogen or whatever to get themselves away from the weirdness of their town, you know, escaping them from reality and stuff. It's an interesting movie. That's not the sole premise of the movie. I can't really sort of say that much about it without giving it away, but it's an interesting movie. It's trippy. That's the best I could say.
Bobby and I have been friends since we were like almost born and shit, man.
Fucked up my fucking cars! Oh! Oh, fuck!
He's always been like this. My best friend.
He beats me. He's raped me before. The worst part is the way he picks on Marty.
So what are you gonna do, Lisa?
I'm gonna kill him.
This is the extremely intense, brutal true story of a bunch of friends who get bullied by a guy played by Nick Stahl. Mind you, he plays his role perfectly as well, as just this totally deranged, psychopathic bully who feels as though he can do and say whatever he wants, whenever he wants, you know, going about his business, raping chicks here and bashing people for no apparent reason just because he feels as though that is, you know, it's just who he is. It's like he doesn't know any different. It's interesting, it's unbelievably, relentlessly brutal. So I would say that if you have a strong stomach, you know, give it a go, check it out. If you think you can handle heavy-duty type movies, if you don't have that strong of a stomach, don't see it.
For two sisters.
Together forever.
United against life as we know it.
With an appetite for the macabre.
I'm slitting my throat. You should definitely hang.
All it takes is one night.
Number 4 is going to be Ginger Snaps. If you haven't seen this movie, this is another Canadian film. This movie is so well presented. The practical effects weren't perfect by any means. It's incredibly low budget. But the character development in this particular werewolf movie, that's right, it's a werewolf movie, surrounds itself around two sisters. And when one of the sisters ends up getting bit by a werewolf, it doesn't just go from like, you know, okay, she's been bitten, full moon comes along and bam, you know, she's a werewolf. This has a different take on, you know, people transforming into werewolves by giving you a gradual transformation, you know, slowly starting off with like body changes, you know, internally, emotional changes, mental state changes, and then physical changes. Like, it goes through the motions in like the most perfect manner ever. If you're a horror fan, like a true horror fan of old school werewolf movies, totally go and check this out. It's definitely a must. Top 5 for sure.
Once upon a time, I had the perfect life. Now I have to write everything down just to make it through the day.
Any problems this week?
Nope.
Crying? Raging?
Nope.
Taking your meds?
Number 3 on this list is The Lookout. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Joseph Gordon-Levitt. That's all I should really say. This movie is filmed, edited, and executed, directed really well. Really well. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, has come so far since, like, Third Rock from the Sun and 10 Things I Hate About You. You know, in this movie, he's, like, playing this mentally disabled person, you know, from a car accident that he caused. There are so many things about this movie that just make you want to just want more.
The TV turned itself on.
What's going on? Why isn't anything working? Everybody's out in the hallway.
That's the same sound that was coming through the phone.
What's the matter with you? I turned the TV on and there it was.
1 out of 2 people just started killing each other. They just decided to kill people.
Listen to me. The girl in the car.
Do you hear that?
Did you see where she went?
She was going to find you.
We've got to find her.
Number 2 is going to be The Signal. This is a must-see, especially if you love, like, the really, really, really old horror movies. It's like a mesh of a few different genres all in one, and it executes the movie so well that you sit there in complete, like, awe throughout the whole thing. You're just like, shit. Basically, the signal is a signal that's disrupting the brain of everyone on the planet that was broadcast on a television, and, like, all electronic devices, electronic devices, pretty much messing with your perception of how you see to be anything, you know, reasonable, gets switched around. You'll see it and you'll just be like, why didn't I see this sooner? So I'm going to have to say that there's going to be an honorable mentions here only because I couldn't fit it within 10 of these movies, so the honorable mentions is going to have to be Jack. Now this movie's pretty much like a forgotten Robin Williams movie. It was really loved when it came out. Now I don't hear anything about it. Ever. Like, it's almost as if this movie's just dropped off the face of the planet. Robin Williams' ability to being able to portray a young child in a grown man's body, it's heartfelt. It's definitely one of those heartfelt movies that you have to see, especially if you have kids or you're a kid yourself. You have to see this movie. Just go out, see if you can find a copy. It's really rare down here in Australia. I don't know why it's so rare. But this is, like, if you do find it, this is one of the rare gems out there of unknown or forgotten movies that you need to see.
Get him placed with adoptive parents as quickly as you can.
They took him away from his real parents. He was abused or something, I don't know.
Who are you?
I'm Mikey Trenton.
Trentons don't have a kid.
Now they do.
Banned in both the UK and Australia. This movie is like the epitome of creepy. Actually, no, not really the movie, just the kid's performance. That kid's performance playing a 9-year-old psychopath is just shit. Whoa, what the hell? Like, it...
I'm calling to inquire about a former student of yours. His name is Mikey Trenton, and he's in the 4th grade.
Pilgrim's bad, so the turkey's fixing him.
Not shit as in bad. Like, that kid acts the shit out of his role. It's like, no wonder he turned out the way that he did, like, today. You know, he looks like a psychopath now.
If I had a girlfriend, I'd do anything for her.
I think that there's something very wrong with Mikey. There's something very strange about him. I think that Mikey's in love with me.
He's only 9 years old.
But there is a reason why this movie is so rare, and that's because in America there is, like, no print at all. So the chances of them making that into, like, a Blu-ray edition are near impossible. You can find copies of it on YouTube, but they're, like, split up into lots of different parts, like 10-minute segments, so I don't even know if, like, the whole thing is going to be able to be found. But I don't want it to be that rare. I want it to be, like, seen by so many people. And that's the prime reason why this is number 1 on this list, because it's just...
Dead people aren't the ones to be scared of. Living people are.
It's so much more than just a slasher flick of just someone going around, you know, murdering people. Like this kid, go see my review. You'll know what I'm talking about. It's, yeah, just go and see it. If you find yourself a copy, on eBay they sell for like nearly $100. That's how rare it is.
Remember, Jason and Freddy were kids once, too. Mikey.
But anyway, that's all I have for today. If you want me to do another top 10 list of some sort, then leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you guys like what you saw, subscribe to the channel, yada yada yada, you know what to do. Hope you guys are having a mad day, and until next time, peace! Blah 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 blah. Civilization is out there, and they're watching my videos.
I know, it's not much, but the fact that one person actually took the time to like the video, I'm feeling awesome right now.